Up to now is the preparation for practicing metta in Metta Sutta. And then we begin to practice. In the practice we repeat, may all beings be happy. When we say all beings, no beings is excluded. Everything is included. Then don't ask any question about how can I practice metta to so and so has done so much nasty thing to me, to my family, my children, and my husband, my wife, and so forth and so on. How can I practice metta? Don't ask that question. Ignore all these offenses somebody has committed, completely wipe out from your mind, and simply put that person also into this melting pot. That person also is one other living being, that's all. And then, may all beings have happy minds. It is not very difficult for us to think, even somebody is very nasty, very mean, doing all sorts of things, it is not difficult for us to wish, may such and such a nasty person have a happy mind. If he has a happy mind, he would not be a nasty person. Very simple. In order to make him a good person, we must wish him to have a happy mind, not wicked mind. Then, whatever living beings there may be, without exception. Now, Buddha gives categories, weak or strong. It is very easy for us sometimes to practice metta towards weak person, weak being, but we have some resistance in practicing metta towards a strong being, a strong person, a bully. We get upset when we think of a bully, but we can practice metta or compassion toward the victim, meek person. But Buddha's advice is, don't make that kind of discrimination. Your metta should go to both, the weak as well as the strong. So, and then he gave another category, long or large. Long in length, large in width. That means thin and long, and fat and short. Medium, short, subtle or gross. Medium, short, subtle or gross. No need to explain. And then visible and invisible. Visible or invisible. Now, visible are very, very, very few. But invisible are more. And therefore, when we try to practice metta, our metta should go to those unknown, invisible beings. They can be human, non-human, animals, and so on. Just imagine that there are beings. And those who live far away, those who are near. Dureva santikeva. It is easy for us to practice metta towards our loved ones who are far away and towards our friends who are close by, but without that kind of discrimination, just to think that all beings who live close by or far away, to put into our metta category. And then, this actually is very, very important, born or coming to birth. Born or coming to birth. Born may be in this life here, and born those who died and born somewhere else. They are born. So, they fall into unseen, invisible category. And those who are here close by seeing born, then they can put into the other category. And then coming to birth. Who are the beings? What are the beings that are coming to birth? Those beings are, there is a stage called Gandhabba stage, meaning being in the process of taking root in the next life. Say, for instance, someone is dying and or dead, and that instant, according to Theravada Buddhism, as soon as someone dies, that instant, without having any gap between death and rebirth, that being take rebirth in another life. The time between these two is incalculably quick. So when we practice metta, we should not leave a gap even in that state of existence, in that of transition, coming to birth. And the other being who are coming to birth is those who are in mother's wombs. Those are not yet born, and they are in the process of taking birth. So, born or coming to birth, and then may all beings be well. And that is another thing. Not only we don't deceive others, we try not to deceive others, but we wish let no one deceive another. We wish others also may they not deceive other people. And not only we don't deceive, we wish those dishonest deceivers not to deceive others. Let no one deceive another. No despise anyone anywhere. Not only we don't despise, but we wish those who want to despise them not to despise. Then, neither from anger nor ill will. Somebody asked, can we despise without anger? You cannot despise without anger or ill will. Then comes, as a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, Mata yatha niyang puttam. This gives the gist of metta practice, the very core of metta practice. I interpret this as normally a mother can have this feeling because she has this experience of having a baby and taking care of the child and so forth. But father and other woman who doesn't have a child and so forth has to imagine this. And even in a real, very practical sense, this appears to be extremely difficult, rather almost impossible. Therefore, my feeling, translation, understanding and thinking is that let the metta be our baby. Let the metta be our baby. And this metta we practice. This is not difficult for anybody to practice. Let our metta be such an important practice that just like a mother risks her own life to protect her only child, the practice, metta practice, we must cherish, we must carry on, we must practice with the all might in our heart. So then next one, Buddha says, even so towards all living beings one should cultivate boundless compassion, boundless heart. Just like that. So what is here? The practice should be like the mother protecting her child. It is the practice, metta practice. Then one should cultivate for the entire world heart of boundless loving friendliness, heart of boundless, unlimited, no conditions. This is where we say unconditional practice. Metta itself is conditional, but the metta practice is not conditional. These are two different things. Metta itself, the feeling, experience of metta is conditional because it is mentally created. That is what we read in Atthaka Nagara Sutta, that Venerable Ananda delivered to a man called Dasama. In that sutta, Venerable Ananda says, metta is mentally created. Whatever is mentally created is conditional. So metta is conditional. But the metta practice, when we practice metta, the practice is not conditional. It is unconditional. Then one should cultivate for the entire world, above, below and all around. Now, Buddha mentioned here three directions, above, below and all around. In other places, like Kalama Sutta, this aspect in Kalama Sutta, not too many people emphasize. They talk only about don't believe in this, don't believe in that and so forth. But the example Buddha has given in Kalama Sutta is the practice of metta. Metta practice. When we practice metta to all directions, direction 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down and all around. So he has mentioned at least 6 directions, and then to include everything he said all around. But here he said uddhang adho cha thiriyancha, up, down, below and all around. So this must include all the 6 directions or all 10 directions. Then unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. When we send our metta, it is just like in that, what he calls in Sankha Dhamma Sutta, where Buddha mentioned, Sankha Dhamma means conch blower. When you blow a conch, the blower has to be very strong. It's like blowing a trumpet. He has to hold a lot of air. Lungs must be very strong. And when he blow it, the sound goes very, very, very far. Not thousands of miles, but it goes very far. On the way, there are no obstructions. It goes in wherever direction he turns the conch or trumpet, in that direction it goes. So why? Because the heart, the lungs are strong. The person can hold breath. Similarly, when we practice metta, we have to be in a very strong position, full of metta in us, just like this man has full of air in his lungs. Our metta should be filled, our lungs should be filled with metta, so to say, and send it, like sending light, sending sound in all directions. Now, when we send metta, we don't question, can I send metta to so and so in this direction? Oh no, I must send to this direction, because so and so is there. We don't make that kind of discrimination. It doesn't matter who is in that direction. Just send it. Unobstructed. What are the obstructions? Without hatred or resentment. That is the catch. If you have hate or resentment in that direction, you cannot send metta. So without that hitch, that block, that obstruction, the obstruction is not there. Obstruction is in your own heart, in your own mind. What is the obstruction? Hatred or resentment. Without hatred or resentment. And then we walk. While walking, send metta to all 6 directions, 10 directions. So Buddha said, whether standing, titthan, charan, nisinnova, sayanova, yavatasi vigatamiddo. Whether standing, walking, or sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, no posture, no time is precluded. Every posture, every activity is included. Keep this in mind and walk. Keep this in mind, sit. Keeping this in mind, lie down. Keeping this in mind, go to bed. So, when we keep this in mind, the mind will be completely filled with metta, and there is no time or moment for anger or resentment to arise. Because we buffered all these things. Metta buffered all this. And no moment open, no gate open for resentment or anger to enter. And therefore when we blow metta, send to various directions, it goes, doesn't stop. One should develop this mindfulness. So the metta is equated with mindfulness. Here, in mindfulness, what we do, we eliminate hatred. When we practice mindfulness, when we want to get rid of our anger, we want to get rid of our greed, we want to get rid of our ignorance. And when we practice metta, we do the same thing. Without hate or resentment, we send metta. Without hate or resentment, what we do? Practice mindfulness. So this is another form of mindfulness. Metta is another form of mindfulness practice. So Buddha called this etang sating aditya, this mindfulness. So see how important this practice is. When you practice mindfulness, you don't develop your anger, hatred and delusion. Similarly, when you practice metta, you don't develop your anger, hatred, resentment. So we do both practice in the same way, just to get rid of anger, hatred and so forth. And therefore this is also another kind of mindfulness practice. This called mindfulness, and therefore this not only mindfulness, this is called divinely dwelling here. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's what you say in Christian prayers, right? Thus, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we practice metta here to experience heavenly bliss. We don't ask somebody to help us. We have the power, we have the strength, we have intelligence to arouse our potential deeply rooted metta in us, to make us live on earth as in heaven. So divinely dwelling here. This is not a joke. Actually, when you think of the Christian prayer, that particular sentence, there is no difference between that and this. The difference is that there you pray somebody, ask somebody to help you to do that. Here, we don't ask anybody. We develop it by ourselves, because we are beings with honor, dignity, respect, independence, that has the power of developing our luminous mind. Our mind is luminous. Pabhasaramidam bhikkhave chittam. Tanchako agantuke upakkilesi upakkilitam. Tang asutava putujjano na pajanati. Tasma asutavacha putujjanasa chitta bhavana navanati. This mind is luminous, but it becomes polluted by adventitious defilements. But an ordinary person who does not know Dhamma, who does not associate with the right person, does not know this. Therefore, such a person does not develop the mind to open this luminosity, to open the door for the luminosity to brighten and light up the mind. So when we practice this, we slowly remove these obstacles and open the door, and then we live in bliss. And therefore Buddha called, this is called divinely dwelling here. Some people ask about bodhisattva ideas. Some people call divine nature and so forth. And this is our divine nature, this is our bodhisattva idea. And the Buddha said, not falling into erroneous views. When we come to this level, our erroneous views will fade away. We will not fall back into that. Why? We have gotten rid of our greed, our anger, and we remove our other defilements and open the mind to see the reality, open this door for the light to shine, and then how can we fall into wrong views? Wrong views arise when there is no light. Wrong views arise when there is ignorance. So we don't have wrong views, we attain the stream entry. Not having wrong views means not having wrong, only time we don't have wrong views is the time when we attain the stream entry. But virtuous and endowed with vision, darsana is another name for the stream entry, sotapanna. Darsanena sampanno. Not only that, if we continue to practice this, kāmesu vinaya gedam nahi jātu gabbaseyam punareti, will not come back to the womb, removing desires or sensual pleasures. Only time when we attain anagami, we remove the desire for sensual pleasures, anagami state. And consequently, one comes never again to birth in the womb. Become never return, anagami. Gabbaseyam punareti. Punar does not come back to the womb, meaning attaining anagami state. See the benefit of metta. We mentioned it 18 benefits, now we have 2 more benefits. What are they? Attaining sotapanna and attaining anagami, plus sakadagami, 3 more benefits. So 21 benefits we gain from metta practice. 11, 7, 3. So, friends, I think that is the end of Metta Sutta. And repeat Metta Sutta with full confidence, trust, diligently, understanding every word you recite. Whether you recite it in Pali or in English, contemplate the meaning of each word you recite. And you really see, it began in a very simple, humble way and then slowly, gradually unfolded the supreme attainment of enlightenment. Metta practice. Not only living on earth as in heaven, but liberating us from samsara. Liberating us from samsara. And therefore, metta practice is not a joke. It is something very, very important. I wish we all practice it as the heart of Buddha's teaching. Not something some kind of side dish, main dish. Okay?